A short time ago, an American airplane dropped one bomb on Hiroshima and destroyed its usefulness to the enemy. That bomb has more power than 20,000 tons of TNT.
On Monday, August 6, 1945, at 8:15 in the morning, most people in the city of Hiroshima, Japan, were heading to work. The people of Hiroshima were very proud of their city because, while most Japanese cities had been destroyed during World War II, Hiroshima remained completely intact. You should know that World War II in Europe had already ended. Germany had surrendered, but the Japanese had not. So Japanese cities were bombed daily, not with regular bombs, but with incendiary bombs, which are now illegal. Yet Hiroshima remained untouched, and the people were going about their daily routines. As we mentioned earlier, it was 8:15 a.m. on a sunny summer day. 1 minute later, at 8:16 a.m., the sun in the sky doubled. Why? Because they didn't let the bomb reach the ground. When the bomb was 600 meters above the ground, they triggered the explosion because they didn't want any of the bomb's energy to be absorbed by the ground. Most of the city's residents died instantly, but those who were further away and witnessed the scene described it this way. The ground was shaking continuously, the sound of breaking glass was everywhere, and the air became extremely hot. Shattered glass was thrown around, and many of the survivors were killed by the flying shards. Those who were alive, injured and scarred, tried to cover their mouth with clothing to breathe because the air was filled with dust. Standing up, they couldn't breathe because the dust was too thick. About 20 centimeters above the ground was breathable. So everyone lay down on the ground, which was scorching hot and burning their skin. But it was better than suffocating. The ordinary people of the city were desperately trying to find a place where they could breathe comfortably. But there was no such place. Those who were within 2 kilometers of the explosion fared better. They could breathe, and the blast wave only broke windows. However, those within 2 kilometers radius described different experiences. Those standing near windows died because the old glass windows turned into daggers that killed anyone behind them. Those who weren't near windows and survived said they heard a powerful explosion, and seconds later they saw a mushroom cloud rising to the sky, a mushroom made of smoke and fire. 90% of Hiroshima was made of wood, which is why the city was leveled, leaving nothing behind. Only the old brick buildings, which were well constructed, survived, and they still stand today. Buildings that were made of brick and cement but not properly built were also leveled. The only people who were close to the explosion and survived are those inside those sturdy brick buildings. Interestingly, these buildings that survived the explosion were preserved as historical artifacts of that day. After the explosion, if someone approached the blast site, they wouldn't see bodies, only skeletons, because the intense heat left no flesh or skin intact. However, those who got close to the blast site had a high risk of developing cancer due to the radioactive contamination. It's important to note that people at that time did not know that it was an atomic explosion and that it was highly contaminated and deadly. But still, those who could went to the explosion site to help. Most of the people who survived the explosion tried to reach the river, hoping they could breathe easier and to cool down. The bomb had raised the air's temperature above 50 degrees Celsius, and there was no drinking water available. Some who reached the river not only sought relief from the heat but also wanted to drink the water. The ashes, smoke, and vapor from the explosion slowly rose, and an hour later, it started to rain. But not the kind of rain we know. It was acid rain, The droplets turned everything they touched black because they were acidic and mixed with ash, looking like burnt oil falling from the sky. The radioactive contamination in the area was spreading, but people were unaware of it. They didn't know that every breath they took was polluted with a deadly substance. So let's see what happened by that river. The people who reached the river were so overheated they didn't think twice before jumping in the water. They managed to cool off and escape the intense heat. But the black rain also fell into the river, contaminating the water further. The people were not concerned. They just wanted to cool down and quench their thirst, drinking the now contaminated black water. And unfortunately, many of the people who drank this water and survived the initial explosion eventually succumbed to radioactive contamination and died within a month. All those who were near the explosion died within 2 months at most. Only a small percentage survived and were able to share the stories with us. Those who were close to the explosion died instantly. These accounts are from people who were further away. A total of 135,000 people were killed instantly in the city. The US government told Japan that they had seen the bomb and should surrender and to end the war. The Japanese government responded by saying that the Americans didn't know how to make bombs. And it wasn't a bomb. It was a calamity sent from heaven. The US replied saying, "Don't take this lightly. We'll drop another one." To which Japanese replied, "Go ahead. Do whatever you want." 3 days later, a more powerful bomb was dropped on Nagasaki. Nagasaki was a smaller, less populated city than Hiroshima, and 64,000 people died there. After this explosion, the Japanese government realized that there were indeed bombs. And if they didn't surrender, a third bomb would follow. Interestingly, a third bomb was ready because the Americans thought the Japanese wouldn't surrender even after the second bomb, given their cultural pride in dying for their homeland. After the Nagasaki bomb, the Japanese surrendered, and World War II ended with the defeat of the Axis powers, Germany, Italy, and Japan. It worth noting that during this conflict in East Asia, China was among the allies, meaning they were aligned with the Americans.
The bomb, called as Little Boy, was equivalent to the power of 15,000 tons of TNT and left a terrifying mushroom cloud.
A short time ago, an American airplane dropped one bomb on Hiroshima and destroyed its usefulness to the enemy. That bomb has more power than 20,000 tons of TNT.
Thanks for staying with me till the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and also, please turn on the notification bell. See you all in the next video. Bye!